Okay, so bright, sunny day. It might be cold or it might be hot, where depending on where you are. Just relaxing into the moment of the breath. Feeling the ease of the breath flowing through your body. Feel the cleansing of the breath. And also knowing that that breath is there for us anytime, anywhere. The moment we start to feel any anxiety rising, we can simply go back to our breath. Stop and drop into the breath, even for a moment or two. Once we notice those thoughts and emotions trying to take over, to lead us astray from the present moment, we simply stop and drop. As you notice the rising and falling of your chest, you notice where the breath is located. Are you breathing through your nose or your mouth? And knowing that we don't get attached. We don't get attached to any thoughts or emotions that arise. And we don't get attached to the fact that we are paying attention to our breath. We are simply noticing. And we honor the healing that our breath can give to us. We honor the fact that the breath is giving us life. And with that awareness, we embrace all that life has to offer. We might have small setbacks. We might have big setbacks. But we have the power to ease our minds simply by focusing on our breath. And if we are in a time of challenge where it feels like the world is closing in on us, we can seek solace in our breath. Even for a few moments, to give our minds a rest. Because sometimes when we are in a time of challenge or crisis or dis-ease, our minds can race. They can whirl around and think all kinds of thoughts that aren't actually relevant to what we're thinking and feeling. And so we give ourselves a break from that mind running around by going into our breath. And if even in that time we find it hard to harness the mind, we can say to ourselves, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And even if it's only for a moment or two, when we become aware of the stillness of our mind, it's inviting us to increase the number of moments that we bring to that silence. The more we practice the silence, the more we bring our awareness to that silence, the more our mind is going to be open and receptive. Because in the stillness, we can see possibility. We can imagine how beautiful the stillness is. We can receive messages that are just waiting to be heard. We might imagine a beautiful lake. Early morning as the sun is coming out and we look out onto the lake and it's like a sheet of glass. So still, so inviting. And as we look out onto that lake, we can see the reflection of the beauty of nature. The trees and the clouds. But it is the stillness of that water that is drawing us in. And as we look around that lake and we see the reflection, it reminds us that we too can sit in stillness and the reflection will just appear. The reflection of what might be below our surface, just waiting to rise up. And it will arise. And then our job is to just notice, not to start thinking or worrying or becoming anxious, but just to notice. And then we might just watch that thought or that emotion float away. But we are noticing and ready to act if we need to. Because inside of us is our inner wisdom, just waiting to be accessed. Our inner wisdom is there. Some call it intuition. Some call it our gut feeling. The answers are there in the stillness when we allow it to come. And of course, we are going to meet some choppy waters sometimes. As the wind picks up in our nature photograph or vision, we start to see the ripples on the lake. But we are confident because we know those ripples are just simply part of nature. No need to resist because we can't. and that's okay. Because when we resist, it persists. And so we want to bring stillness to whatever is troubling us so that we can work towards acceptance. Acceptance that life is giving us opportunities, challenges, and beautiful experiences that will be locked into our memories. And what we want to do is just sit with those memories without being attached and make that mind-body connection. When a memory comes, notice in your body. When a thought comes, notice in your body. When an emotion arises, notice where it is in your body. Sometimes it is that the body tells us something's up before we even have the thought. And so when we notice a twitch or a twinge or an ache or a pain, we can use that as a message. Stop, drop into silence, and wait for that message to come. And if we become aware of an ache or a pain or a twitch or a twinge, like everything else, we don't get attached. We notice, we work towards acceptance. And then we act when we need to. Our bodies are telling us to pay attention. Our bodies are giving us messages. All of the time. Maybe that message is to simply slow down. Find the stillness. And finding that stillness allows our minds to just settle. To settle into the beauty of the moment. That exquisite, life-fulfilling moment. As we live moment to moment. And so for the next little while, as we sit in silence, just becoming aware, making the mind-body connection, bringing acceptance to the moment without getting attached, until you hear my voice again. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know liberation.